Yo, what's up everyone? In this video, we're going to be talking about this right here, as well as this here. So basically, in the previous video, we talked about the foundation, like what in the crap is going on with all this code here. But now we're going to be talking about arguments, and this is an example of an argument. Before we get started in this video, I wanted to give a special thank you to our sponsor, Pramp. Pramp is an awesome website where you can get paired with other developers and practice interviews to get a job in the industry. So they have interviews for data structures and algorithms where you can choose the language that you want to use to solve these algorithm problems. But they also have interviews in different topics such as system design, front end, and even behavioral interviews and data science. So if any of those topics interest you, please be sure to check out the link in the description. Pramp is the one thing that will take your development skills to the next level and really validate your knowledge and help you get a job at places like Google, Twitter, and so forth. So anytime we call a method, which is, if you guys remember, a method does something, and we have these parentheses, when we put something inside of these parentheses, this is an example of an argument. So hello there is an argument, and this main function that we're defining here, this main method, is expecting an argument that is of type string array. And we're going to talk about how we can use this. So what we're going to do is we are going to, in the Package Explorer, right click our file, and we're going to click show in and then say System Explorer. All right, so this is going to open that Java file in a window. And then what we're going to do is we're going to basically back up a couple of files. So if you don't see this icon right here, what I want you to do is customize toolbar by right clicking and then find the path and just drag that down, drag it up here to right here. Okay, cool. Once you got that, I want you to back up to the project folder. So the Hello project is right here in the Package Explorer, and it's right here in our file system. So there's two folders here that you'll see, the source folder and the bin folder. The source folder contains our source code. The bin folder contains our object code, our compiled code. So what we're going to do, we're going to open a terminal. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to basically, in the terminal, change to that directory by using the cd command. And then I want you to basically drag that bin folder to the directory, and it'll type out the location of that. And then press enter. So now when we say ls, we should be in the same folder as mysweetprogram.class. All right, now what we can do is we can run this application from the terminal by saying Java and then just saying mysweetprogram. But you don't put the .class, you just leave it mysweetprogram. And then press enter. And you can see the code executes. So that is how you run a Java program from the terminal. So that's pretty cool. But now what we can actually do is we can make our application a little bit more dynamic by passing some extra info in there. For example, what if we wanted our application to say, hello, Caleb? Well, we could actually come in here and add another argument and say, hey, my name is Caleb. Oops, can't even spell my own name right. But you can see when we do that, nothing happens. It just says hello there. So what in the world is going on? Well, the reason nothing's happening is because we're passing in an argument to our program, but the program's not actually doing anything with it. So if we wanted to actually say, hello, Caleb, what we need to do is we could actually go in here and say, hello, and then put a plus sign, and then say, args of 0. Just like that. Now when we run this in the terminal, you can see it says, hello, Caleb. So that's pretty cool. We basically just created our first dynamic program. And this basically is the foundation of all programs. Our goal is to not make applications that do the same thing every stinking time. What we want to do is we want to make an application that's interactive. It says our name and it allows us to type in things and do different things depending on what we want. We want to make our application dynamic. So what we just did here of passing an argument with our program name, it's actually not super common. And in the upcoming videos, we're going to be talking about how to do different things like asking the user their name. And then we don't have to worry about passing in the username right here. We can just call the program and it's going to work just as expected. Because right now, if we don't put that in there, we're going to get an error. Oh, exception in thread main. By the way, guys, this is an example of a runtime error. So we were able to run the program, But what happens is that the program crashes. So we didn't get a compiling error like we did over here in this example. For example, if we go in here and we type something wrong and we try to run this thing, well, actually, I'll go back to the terminal here. If we try to run this here, well, now we get a compiling error. Those are two different things. Compiling errors are good because they allow us to fix our code before it runs. Runtime errors are bad because they crash our program and we don't always catch them before it's too late. So I'm going to go back in here and fix this. And then I'm going to save. I'm going to go back in here and run our program like normal. So you understand how to use a command line argument, but just so you guys really understand what's going on here, when we say Java my sweet program, we are basically saying, yo dog, we want to run the main method of this class, my sweet program. So it goes in here, looks for that method, oh, here it is, main, and here's what we're going to be doing in that method. And then this thing right here, string brackets args, this is what it's expecting as arguments. And it doesn't have to take any, but we can pass arguments. So we could pass multiple arguments. We could say Caleb and, I don't know, Sally. And we're not using that second one here, so it doesn't really matter. But in this situation, we're using that first argument, and the way we get the first argument is with this bracket 0. And this is array syntax, and don't get overwhelmed with that if you've never used arrays, because we're going to be talking about that. The main thing you guys need to understand from this video is what an argument is and how to use command line arguments. Arguments are going to be used all throughout coding, so it's really important to understand. Anytime we call a method, such as this print line method, well, we're passing in an argument. We're passing this entire expression here. So we get hello plus whatever the first array element in this args is. So that's another example of using arguments in our code. So another thing you might want to add in here is arguments. And this is what you pass to a method. Now another term you're going to hear a lot, and I gotta get rid of this error, it's driving me crazy. I'm just gonna run this. So you can see we get an error here, and that's because we didn't pass in a command line argument, because when we hit this play button, we're not passing any arguments in. So I'm just gonna go back and just delete this. All right, so now it should run. Okay, now what I was saying, another term you're going to hear a lot is parameter. And what is a parameter? A parameter and an argument are very similar, but they're not the same thing. You'll often hear them used interchangeably, but I would say if you want to be a really good developer, you'll definitely want to understand the difference. So an argument, as we learned, is what you pass in to a method. So we're passing in hello to the print line method. A parameter, on the other hand, when we define a method, is the variable that's going to store that data. So for example, this main method, we're saying, hey, we want to store the arguments in this right here, a string array called args. So this thing here is expecting an argument, but what this thing is known as is a parameter. And the distinction between those two will become clearer once we start defining methods, but basically we're defining this main method here because we're doing all this prefix stuff, but we're just calling this print line here. We're not defining it. It's already defined somewhere. So when we define a method, we give it parameters. When we call a method, we give it arguments. So these are variables to store arguments. They're part of the definition of a method, and the arguments are part of the calling. And when we say calling, all we mean is we're saying the name and putting these parentheses, which is going to execute the code inside of this method using the argument hello. Now, oftentimes you're going to be using other methods that have been created, and you're going to need to know what kind of arguments they need. So when you call a method, so let's say we wanted to print something else, and we say print line, you can see there's all of these different signatures here. The signature is basically just the structure of the method, and you can see there's a lot of different options. So we don't just have one print line, we basically have an overloaded version with a bunch of different options for arguments. One of them takes nothing, one of them takes a boolean, one of them takes a character array, a double, and so forth. The one we've been using is print line string, and that's because hello is an example of a string. And we're going to get into all these data types coming up soon, but just so you know, if you're not sure what kind of arguments the method takes, all you gotta do is just type it back out and it'll just give you some hints. So you put the dot and then the function name, and then you can go through here and get details about all the different versions. So that's pretty much everything you need to know about arguments and parameters for right now. I would even go so far to say that if you understand everything we've talked about up until this point, you are far beyond what most people understand in development. What we're going to do now is we're basically going to take a step back from all this deep diving of the concepts, and we're just going to go back and learn the language fundamentals. So all of the things we've previewed and talked about, we're going to go in all of those in more depth, so you can start understanding how to build more complex applications. If anything from the last 4 videos has been challenging, trust me, as you go on in these next videos, it'll all start to clear up. So don't worry about having a perfect understanding of everything. With that, I'll see you guys in the next video. And before you go, just please be sure to check out the description for a link to the blog, the Java Crash Course, as well as a link to our amazing sponsor, Pramp, who will drastically change your life. Thank you guys. I'll see you in the next one.